What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If you're stopping by the channel for the first time, please consider subscribing to my channel. And while you're at it, smash that like button for me. I really would appreciate it. Also, hit that post notification bell so that you're notified every time I upload a new video. Federal Reserve cut short-term interest rates today by 25 basis points. And it was widely anticipated that they would do that, guys. So we didn't see a really big jump in the stock market because that 25 basis points has been already priced in for several weeks, right? What the market really was waiting for was maybe a surprise. What if the Fed cut by 50 basis points? Unfortunately, that did not happen today. But at least we got the rate cut cycle started. Now, I listened to Chairman Jerome Powell at his 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time press conference. And what I gathered was they're going to play this thing meeting by meeting. So when they meet in November, they will have reviewed the data. And right now, the main data that they want to review is the labor market. Right? So every time those jobs reports come out or any statistics come out on unemployment, that's the data they're going to be concentrating on, according to Chair Powell. They believe inflation is still somewhat elevated, but their two mandates are price stability and maximum employment. They believe right now they have to shift their attention to maximum employment because over the last several months, the labor market has been weakening seriously. If you looked at the August jobs report, you would have noticed the number of jobs added to the economy was not that many, guys. It was low. So now they've shifted their focus kind of away from inflation. Still got their eyes on it, though. But really, they're really staring down what's happening with the labor market because they know if that labor market continues to weaken, that's going to affect the economy and that could throw the economy into a recession, and they do not want that to happen. So Chair Powell said today's rate cut was more risk management than a plan to continue to just reduce rates on a certain schedule. That's what he said, at least from what I heard. He said it was more risk management. I don't really know what that means, but I know the market didn't like it. The market was looking for, okay, are we on a scheduled rate cut plan? And right now, we're not. He did say we'll revisit rate cuts every single meeting. So 2 more meetings this year. So could potentially be 2 more 25 basis point rate cuts with a total of 75 basis point rate cuts for the year. But that'll be dependent on the data. So markets was sort of, didn't really like that. So you didn't see a real spike up. Matter of fact, when you look at the S&P 500, it closed down today. It closed in the red. The NASDAQ closed in the red. Now the Dow actually closed in the green. And another indice that really popped was the Russell 2000, which is for small caps, right? It popped about 25 basis points today. So it did pretty dang on well, given the fact that it was a risk management rate cut today, right? Now, who benefits when the Fed cuts rates? What businesses benefit from lower rates? Companies like Walmart, Target, basically retailers, right? Mortgage companies, banks, in some cases when they're lending money, it picks up, right? They're borrowing. People coming in that want to borrow money. So banks also benefit from rates going up, but they also benefit when rates come down because now more people come into the banks to borrow money at a cheaper interest rate. So banks make it on both ends, when rates go up and when rates go down. But retailers really are the ones that benefit, especially retailers like Walmart. They benefit when rates kind of go down. So what do we got to look forward to, guys, for the rest of 2025 in the stock market? I personally believe we continue to go higher because I think even with a 25 basis point rate cut, that signals to investors and the market that the Federal Reserve is willing and ready to cut rates if the data determines they need to cut. That's a good thing for the market. So I think personally the market continues to go higher because I believe the 1%ers are going to continue to double down on assets. That's how they multiply their money and create principal wealth. That then they take that principal wealth and they live on the interest. That's what the 1% do. And the main place they do it is in the stock market, a $55 trillion asset, the United States stock market. So 1%ers are going to continue to double down. They're going to continue to pour money into assets. As President Trump tries to get more and more of his people as part of the Federal Reserve Board, the FOMC voting committee, that's going to change the trajectory of interest rate cuts. Remember, he tried to fire Lisa Cook, one of the voting members on the Federal Reserve, FOMC. Will he succeed in that? Right now, the courts have stopped him, but he could succeed in firing her and putting his own person in there before the November next Fed meeting. The Federal Reserve is going to have no other choice, guys, but to lower interest rates. So I believe we get another 2 cuts this year, with a total of 3 cuts, totaling 75 basis points. That sends the stock market higher in the fourth quarter. That's my opinion. I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. So please go out and do your own independent research and come up with your own decision before you make any investments. Do not take anything that I say as financial advice. It's just my opinion. That's all I'm giving you. But right now, we got the 25 basis point rate cut, even though the Fed is saying it's not they're not on a rate cut plan. They're deeming it as a risk management. Hey, anytime you lower rate 25 basis points, you did it for a reason. And the reason you're doing it is because now you understand that the labor market is in trouble. And you have to. So 2 more rate cuts this year. I believe it sends stocks higher, all other assets higher. So I'm getting in position and making sure I'm doing everything I can to build myself some principal wealth so that at some point in the future, I can live off of that wealth, the interest that wealth throws off. I'm going to live off of that wealth and then pass it on to my children so that they then can live off of that principal wealth. That's what it's all about when you're talking about creating generational wealth, guys. It's about that principal wealth. And the only way you build that principal wealth is you gotta get yourself in the game and start participating and executing. So if you're not doing that, consider it. Drop me some comments down in the comment box and let me know if you think the Federal Reserve will cut rates another 50 basis points before the end of the year. I think they will, but I'd love to get you guys' feedbacks and comments. So drop them down in the comment box. If you're stopping by the channel for the first time, please consider subscribing, share the video, smash the like button. Thoughts become things. If you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hands. You guys keep chasing your greatness. Never stop believing in yourself. Stay healthy, get wealthy, and I'll catch you on the next video. Peace. Moomoo is going to give you some NVIDIA stock when you open up a new Moomoo brokerage account and make a deposit. All you got to do is get down to the first link in the description box. That's the Moomoo brokerage link. Click on it and get all the details on how you can get some NVIDIA stock. Don't delay, act today. Second link down in the description box is the Wealth Builders Financial Community on Patreon. Guys, all we do in that community is help each other build wealth, get to financial freedom and passive income. If you want to be a part of our team, all you got to do is click on that second link. It'll take you over to Patreon, and then come sign up for the fastest growing financial community on Patreon. We'll call the Wealth Builders.